Well, hey folks, welcome back once again to HarleyDayRider, your good old friend HDR. I'm out here once again on the lovely Road Glide Ultra. And as the title I'm sure gave it away, today I am going to be talking to you a little bit about 20,000 miles with the Milwaukee 8. 20,000 miles with the Milwaukee 8. You don't get this from many channels because a lot of people I've seen through the course of time, you know, they do a 10,000 mile review, but nobody gives you a 20,000 mile review. So let's recap a couple of these. First of all, let's go to this one, and you guys know, and you know, myself and Bodine 52 and Bronco Ride, we talk all the time. I told Bodine 52 I got to do a 20,000 mile service on my bike, and he goes, "Holy cow, that's a lot of mileage." And I said, "Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I mean, she is, you know, 2018, but the Milwaukee 8 engine has been purring along quite well." My buddy Road Glide Andy there, he has a 2019 Milwaukee 8 engine, and he's going in for his 35,000 mile service. Now, I have heard people talk about the Milwaukee 8. I've heard people talk bad things about it. I've heard people talk good things about it. So this is my personal review of it. Okay, nobody else's. I'm going to try to keep all those other opinions off of this channel. So we'll go ahead and let's take a look at the Milwaukee 8 here close up. And as we're talking about her, so this particular Milwaukee 8 engine is a 107 cubic inch engine. I know they're out with the 114 now. But so far so good, knock on wood. Okay, so when the 2017 Milwaukee 8 engine first revealed itself to the general public, if you remember, a lot of people are having something called an oil sumping problem, and that has been corrected in the later generation 2018s, where this one kind of falls at. So you can see the motor here though close up, and you know, I have done nothing to enhance this motor. I have done no stage kits. I have done nothing to change the way the motor has an output, right? I didn't put a new air cleaner on it. I didn't do a stage 1 fuel pack. I've been thinking about it. I've also been toying around with the stage 2 idea. But in talking to many people about this engine, I was told that that's when you start to experience some problems. Now, if you remember Mike Killy 7, I'm sure, well, not remember him, if you know Mike Killy 7, or if you remember when he had a Milwaukee 8, he had a Ultra Limited, and he went all the way up to the stage 4. Now, when he went to the stage 4 in his Milwaukee 8 engine, he started to experience a lot of problems with it. And those problems extended from leaking oil, tapping valves, and you know, just a bunch of different issues with it. Because they say when you open that engine up and you start putting parts in there, you start to make more complex. And so you have a case that's built for a straight off the rack Milwaukee 8, and you're changing things like compression ratios, right? A lot of these terms, I understand them, although remember, I'm not a mechanic. And you start to change the top end and the bottom end. Now here's where the issue gets. So if you do a stage 2 and you're doing half, then the other half is working twice as hard to keep up with that top half. If you do the bottom half is working twice as hard to keep up with the top half. Okay? Now these are all proven facts from a guy named Baxter at Baxter's Garage. Okay, if you watch his about tuning a Milwaukee 8 engine, an M8, he will explain all of this to you. So the proper way that he does it is, if you're going to build your engine out, you build all the parts at one time so you can compensate for all that extra pressure that's inside that casing. Sometimes he even has to build a new casing on there. A little dead thing in the road there, a little swerve around that. But for me personally, with the stock 107 Milwaukee 8 engine, So far, knock on my gas tank, I have not experienced any issues with it. I do perform regular maintenance on it. I use synthetic oil in my motorcycle, and even though synthetic oil is good for 10,000 miles, I still change mine every 5. Now, here's the trick to that, though. Okay, so I change my engine oil every 5, and I rotate my transmission and my primary. All right, so the transmission and primary actually get. Try and get up here. The transmission and primary actually go out to 10. In my transmission, I use something called Redline. Now, this is something I've used in my 2011 Electric Glide Classic, something I had on the Sportster when I first bought a 1200 Sportster. And it's just a really, really super thick formula, and it seems to work very, very well. Now, with that said, I use the synthetic 3 oil from Harley-Davidson. I don't buy any. I mean, I know there's other oils that you can, you know, we can argue about that until the end of time, I'm sure. There's other oils such as AMSOIL, Pennzoil, Mobil 1, and I'm sure all those oils are very, very good oils. But you know what? I'm sticking with the Harley blend because I know I can easily find it at the Harley shop, and they have everything else I'm going to need to go with. So really easy to find, like I said, and easy to change out. So that's why I use the Syn 3 from Harley. So I do put the Syn 3 in the primary, and I do put the synthetic 3 in, obviously, the engine, right? The engine oil. And again, every 5,000 for the engine. Even though people argue, you know, well, not argument, I guess. It is good for 10,000 regardless. You can leave it in there for 10 and to be just fine with it. It's not going to break down that fast. But doing it at home, you know, and being able to change your own oil makes it a little bit more cost effective. So, you know, why not change it up every 5? It's not going to hurt anything to have better oil in there, I figure. But yeah, so the Milwaukee 8 engine, I would highly recommend it. Here's some of the other drawbacks that I've heard of. Now, this is some stuff I don't know. The Milwaukee engine, the Milwaukee 8, you know, just does not vibrate properly. It doesn't feel like a Harley-Davidson. It doesn't give you that vibration like a Harley-Davidson does, like a V-twin engine. Well, I was looking the other day at a stoplight, and I was noticing when my hands are off the handlebars, I'm sitting at a stoplight, the handlebars are still vibrating. So I would say that's probably not true. Now, does the Milwaukee 8 vibrate as much as, say, maybe a V-twin engine, say maybe an old panhead, say maybe an old knucklehead? I'm sure it does not. So if you're into that type of motorcycle, maybe you want to stick with that kind of bike. I also heard that the motor itself is not reliable. Well, okay. Again, my buddy Road Glide Andy got 35,000 miles on his. I heard that one guy has over 60-some thousand miles on his, and it's still purring along, and he never had any work done to it. So, now could there be bad ones out there? Absolutely. Anything in this world that's built by man can have issues. We all know that. But overall performance, overall enjoyment, you know, I can't say anything bad about the engine. So those are the only couple things that I've heard about the Milwaukee 8 is it doesn't vibrate enough, and it doesn't have longevity for an engine. But like I said, the biggest thing is with your Milwaukee 8 engines, guys, and I've ridden the 114s. The 114, and that's what Road Glide Andy has, is a solid engine also. top-notch performer. You know, it's just 114 cubic inch instead of a 107. And, you know, so you got 7 more cubic inches. A little bit more displacement there for a little bit more power. But, and they say they're just as reliable. Now, do they vibrate as much? I really have not noticed on demo rides. I don't want to get killed here over this blind hill with these bicyclists. They're probably looking at me right now. But hey, I wish I had a motor on there. This looks like a whole entire bicyclist event here today. Are you kidding me? Holy cannoli. Yeah, now what? I think I'm going to beat him with the bike. Anyway, so I'm just going to motivate down here. Like I said, I don't want to run over anybody. They must be having a bicycle outing today. Huh. One day all these people will grow up and buy motorcycles and then they'll have motorcycle outings. I hope they're going the other way. I hope they're going around the hill here, not my way. Maybe if they are, I'll go the other way. I don't know for sure. He's a nice guy. Thanks, guys. There goes a deer right there in front of me. See that? I don't know if you can see that deer or not. Okay, now all you people need to go to the right. Go to the right. Go to the right. Yeah, we got stop sign anyway. But they're definitely doing more for the environment than I am, right? I mean, I go by them, you know, spewing exhaust fumes all over them. All right, so where were we? Yes, so I would recommend if you're looking at a motorcycle and you're thinking, well, I don't want that new stuff, and I've heard people say that, I don't want that new engine, that Milwaukee 8 engine, that M8, nah. So they go out and they buy themselves another V-twin, which is fine. I was looking the same way. Believe me, when I bought this one, I was looking at a 103, which a 103 is a great engine. Don't get me wrong. So, but if you got the funds to spare and you're kind of on the teetering side, saying, "Well, I heard that bad stuff," don't let that bother you. Let that out of your head and go ahead and buy the Milwaukee 8. You're going to be very satisfied with it. Either the 107 or 114. Both bikes are very enjoyable to ride. So I hope I answered some of your questions. Again, like I said, I have not experienced what other people have. Here's one thing I can tell you though before I end this video. If you do a stage 2, 3, or 4 upgrade, the one part that they're going to add on to your stage 2 upgrade, because I've been talking to them about a stage 2 on this bike. Now, I told you about that, right? So, whether it's good or bad, I've been thinking about it. The one thing they are going to put on is they are going to put on the more beefed up oil pump. So you make sure you don't get no sumping with that extra compression and combustion in that engine. So other than that, that's about all that I have heard that they are doing. So I wanted to put that out there to you, that you are going to have to pay for an oil pump. Because I said, well, if that's the case and Harley knows that, shouldn't Harley just pay to replace the oil pump? And they said, boy, that you're living in a dream state. And I said, yeah, normally I am. So, well, folks, thank you so much for watching this video. And, you know, whatever motorcycle you have, you know, enjoy it. Get it out there on the road and ride it. And, you know, don't worry about that. And I know I've talked before a lot on my shows. And Road Glide Andy yells at me probably weekly. He calls me on the phone screaming, you need more miles on that damn bike. You know, I'm not what I call a mile mongrel, or mile mongrel. I don't need to go out and put tons and tons of miles on my motorcycle. But again, I'm not afraid to run them up, you know, so it doesn't bother me. One day, hopefully, I'll still have this bike, and it'll have 60 or 70,000 miles on it. We'll be talking about those reviews and how everything's going then. So, whatever might creep up on me here. So, again, I am heading to the Harley shop right now to buy the oil to change it out here for the 20,000. I will be doing the 20,000 mile checkup on it, because we're getting ready to leave on a trip here very, very soon. And we're going to be putting probably 3,000 miles or a little bit more on it on our vacation. So I do want to make sure that I have everything prepared, ready to go. And I will be going through the service manual and checking everything that it says to check on the motorcycle. So until next time, thank you for watching this video. And remember, ride your own ride. Be safe out there. HarleyDayRider will be down and out here in the beautiful southwestern Pennsylvania. Bye-bye for now, everybody. Oh, a new house going up. Have big steep front yard to mow there, that's for sure.